Hello and welcome to Heart Event. I'm Kay and I'm back with Josh for our second month of episodes. We are officially in May and it's so exciting to be onto our second month. We want to say thank you for a wonderful first month. We appreciate the support and everyone listening. It's been so nice to see people actually listening to and enjoying the show, and we cannot say thank you enough. And we just want to remind you at the top of the episode that if you enjoyed our first month of episodes and you're excited to see what's to come as we continue the podcast, please remember to rate us 5 stars and leave a review wherever you're listening. It helps a lot. And thank you again. Hi, Josh. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic this evening. And, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be back because we took the first week of the month off. And now we're back, and I missed it. I missed recording. I missed doing the episodes. I think it's good to have that little break so that we could plan what we were going to do next, but I'm happy to be back.
I'm also very happy to be back. I do miss talking to you in this format, so this is nice.
Yeah, it's fun. It's different for us. So I wanted to start out by doing a little What Are You Playing segment. I figured we could do it from time to time just to get a chance to tell each other about any cool gaming stuff we've been up to lately. You want to go first?
Certainly. As almost always, I've been playing a lot of Overwatch. I just like punishing myself, I guess. Let's see. There is a new hero that they launched for this season. Sierra. She has a very cool, long, pink braid. And she has a little drone robot that she can grapple to. It's been very frustrating. But I'm having a great time.
That's cool. I always like seeing the characters on Overwatch. I like looking over your shoulder and seeing what they look like because they're pretty cool. The character designs are pretty sick.
That is, I think, one of the best parts about Overwatch is that they have really great character designs that really, resonate with a lot of people. So, what have you been playing?
So I wrapped up a few games that I was playing for podcasts and streams and stuff like that. So I've had a little bit more time to return to Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, which I am so excited about because I absolutely love that game. I honestly think it might be my favorite farm sim I've ever played.
Your favorite one ever?
Yeah, it's really good. And I know some people had complaints about some of the Story of Seasons games, but this is my first time playing one of them, so I don't have any of that preconceived stuff going into it. So it was kind of like blank slate. I talked about on the show before that I tried it at PAX and loved the demo and then got it for Christmas this year. I just think that the quality of life stuff they did, the balancing as far as the economy in that game and the different animals, how cute they are, all the different mechanics, the little nature fairies, everything about it is just so charming and so much less punishing than other farming sims. And sometimes I'm in the mood for that and I like grinding. And this game isn't necessarily not grindy, you have to grind to do some of the quests and stuff like that, but it's not as bad as other ones, and I just feel so relaxed when I'm playing it, and I always look forward to playing it, and it's a little magical, it's just really cute. I really like it. So yeah, I'd probably say it's my favorite farming sim, at least for now.
Well, that's fantastic. I love when you come to me with the different updates to your life in that game. How is the moon lady? How's she doing?
Kagetsu, yeah. She's good. I just had a heart event with her, and she actually, to get to her, you have to go through this, portal in the woods, basically. So she doesn't live in town, and she doesn't know the other NPCs, but I just got to a heart level with her where she actually came with me into the town and met everybody, and it was such a cute little cutscene, and I'm actually not even done with year 1 yet.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so, it's a lot of playtime. I still have a lot to go, and I feel like I've been playing it for a while, and it's just starting to ramp up a little bit, and I'm just really excited to see where it keeps going, and I hope we can do, an episode on it or something so that I can get all my thoughts out there once I play a little more, but I can just tell that it's gonna just hold a special spot in my heart for a really long time, because I don't think since I started it that I've even really been playing other farming sims, because I just want time to go back to Grand Bazaar. It's so fun.
No, I think that's true because I've asked you about like Stardew Valley and even Fields of Mystria, and you don't really have anything to say about them. You're always just like, well, no, I want to play Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar.
Yeah, I haven't been playing them. I love those games. I do want to play more Fields of Mysteria, but I think that I don't feel bad about not playing it for now while I focus on Story of Seasons because I know that their next update is going to be the 1.0 update. So I almost feel like I can put it to the side for now and then come back to it. So for now, I'm like, let me just not even worry about it and stay on Story of Seasons because it also feels so good to have a game stick like this. So yeah, I just love it. And I'm so happy my parents got it for me for Christmas because that was so cute. They got me the deluxe edition that comes with like the art book and the little sheep plushie and a cloth poster and all this cute stuff. And I just am really grateful because it is so fun and I love it.
The sheep is ridiculously cute.
Yeah, all the animals in the game are so cute. And I actually went back to look at some of the art in the other Story of Seasons games that they've released recently, and it's cute, but I do think I like this one best. Maybe I'm just biased because I've actually played this one, so I've spent time like looking at it and gotten used to it, but I just think they really nailed it with like the colors and the animals. I'm excited to see the winter though because well, like I said, I haven't finished the first year yet, and I can't remember if I played through the winter yet. I don't think so.
Didn't you just experience your first like hurricane or cyclone or tornado or something?
Yeah, so during the summer, you have to keep an eye on the weather because a hurricane will come through, and you have to put up windscreens and like, make sure your crops don't get damaged or anything. So that was a cool mechanic, something different for sure.
That is really cool.
Yeah, they have all this little stuff added in that other farming sims don't have. And like I just unlocked my horse and you can do like a horse race that you can train for like Nintendo style. So I don't know. I don't want to get too much into it because I want to do a whole episode on it and I could talk about this for so long, but yeah. So I've been playing that.
That's true.
Other than that, I have been playing Sticky Business. I did a playtest for Thrifty Business a couple weeks ago, and so nice. Spell Guarding Games gave the people who did playtests for Thrifty Business a key to one of their other games, and I picked Sticky Business because I had always wanted to play that one and just never got around to actually downloading it. And it's so cute. I didn't realize that there was a little bit of a narrative going on with the regulars who order from you. And you can do so much more than just decorate the stickers. Like you can decorate the box that they're going into. You can buy little candies and trinkets to put into your order, which is really fun for me because having ordered from a couple small businesses the last couple months, like I ordered some plushies from a small creator like a couple months ago, and they do tend to send like little candies and trinkets and your order, and it's such a delight opening those up. So I thought it was a really good touch that they thought to add that. So I've been adding little candies into all my orders and just taking my time decorating the stickers and the website that you have in the game, and it's been really relaxing. I've been playing it before bed and just trying to not rush through because I don't know if there's like an end. I'm sure it has a free play mode once you get past all the stuff that you're supposed to make and read about the customers, but I'm just trying to take my time with it. I'm really grateful that they gave me a key, and it's been just really nice to wind down every night before bed with it. So that's been awesome. And then just this morning, I actually crossed a game off of my backlog. So funny because I actually didn't mention it in the backlog episode because I didn't really know a lot about this game and didn't know what to expect from it because it was only like $5, and from what I had read about it, it was a really short experience, and I just didn't know if it was going to be one of those things where I logged in and I was like, yeah, there's actually like really not that much to do in this game, and then closed it out because some bite-sized games can kind of be like that sometimes, no offense. So, but I was looking for something that I could just sit down and finish in one sitting because besides Grand Bazaar, I've been in kind of a gaming rut. Like that's the only game I want to play, and if I'm not in the mood to play a farming sim right at that moment, then I've just been like watching YouTube videos instead. Like I haven't been gaming that much besides the two I just mentioned. So I played Cato's Post Office this morning. It was so, so, so cute. Such a good experience. You're a cat, obviously. Everyone in town is a cat. Everything is really adorable. Cute art style, as usual for me. That's what drew me in. That and the fact that it was a cat. And I won't spoil it, but you basically play through one day as Cato, who is working for the post office in town, and you spend the day delivering packages and interacting with the locals and doing a couple side quests and just interacting with the stuff in town. And throughout the course of the day, you see this like really wholesome storyline unfold, and it's just really cute, and I really had fun with it. And I feel like sitting down and completing a game from start to end was really satisfying for me, to help me feel like I was starting to get out of that rut. So I think just until I feel like the weirdness has passed where I don't want to play really anything specific, maybe I'll try to focus on crossing off those like 1 to 3 hour games on my backlog, because it did feel really good. All right, so that's what we've been playing, and now I have some gaming news. Very exciting. Last episode I mentioned Coral Island and how that's been on my backlog, and now I'm starting to think about moving it up on the backlog a little bit. Oh, before I say this, I actually wanted to update you on something else on my backlog too. I said at the end of the episode, you had asked me which games I thought I was going to get to first on my backlog, and I said Mudbourne and Apico because I thought that they were some of those shorter experiences. Yeah, I was wrong. Those are both like 30-hour games.
Oh, dang.
So, like, I don't know. I loaded into Mudbourne the other day and saw the tutorial start, and I was like, oh, I think that I need to think about this more than I thought. So I looked up how long it takes to beat the game, and yeah, it said like 30 to 40 hours, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, especially for the price I got them at. But that's not what I was looking to dive into right now, so let me close out of this and try again later. So I'll have to update you on what actually ends up getting crossed off my backlog first, because I was wrong and it will not be those.
That's really funny, because I saw you like pull up the Mudbourne game, and I was thinking, like, I didn't vocalize it, but I was thinking, oh, I wonder if she's finally going to play that. Now I have my answer. You're gonna wait a minute.
I mean, hey, it's only been like 2 weeks since I got the bundle, so. Anyway, circling back to Coral Island, they have a huge update coming out. They don't have a release date for it yet, but at the time of recording, it's already out in beta. So if you want to test out the update for yourself and see it early, you don't have to. If you want to just wait till it's polished and fully pushed out, then that's fine. You don't have to opt in. But by the time you're hearing this, you will be able to try it for yourself by going on Steam and opting in if you have the game. But this is update 1.3, and it has so much to add to it. So I specifically didn't update you on any of this information when I found it out, because I was so excited to tell you, and I wanted to like capture your reaction.
Well, I'm ready. Buckle in.
Okay, so first things first, new datables. So the two new datables are not new NPCs. They've been in the game, but now they're dateable when they weren't before. And people are really excited about this because they're people that they wanted to be dateable, but they weren't yet. And these datables will become dateable mid to late game. So if you're like kind of far into a save file already, it's not one of those things where it would be better if you restarted. So just keep that in mind. But the two new datables are Agung and Reyna. And Agung is like a sexy merman. And Reyna is somebody that you first see on the island, like working for a big corporation that comes to town. They're both beautiful, and people are really excited about this. I'm interested in the Reyna storyline because since I'm very, very early on in Coral Island, like I thought she was going to be kind of like an evildoer. But if people want to date her and she becomes dateable, I'm assuming that's not true. So, we'll see about that. And so, yeah, it looks like both of them start off kind of like closed to the idea of getting to know you. And then the reason that they're more mid to late game dateables is because you kind of have to like crack their shell. So that's cool. Something to note is that if you are opting in to trying the public beta for the update, Agung and Reina are not available as romance options yet. That aspect of it, you will have to wait until 1.3 is officially rolled out to experience. But still really cool that it's happening. Another cool thing, kind of in the same realm, is that the NPCs can now invite you to hang out instead of you initiating the hard events. So this is something I've never seen done in a farming sim before, and I think that it'll make it feel so much more alive and real and a lot less flat. So apparently, the singles on the island can now walk up to you and be like, yeah, we should have a date later. We should hang out and get to know each other. Cool. And to my knowledge, it'll like raise your hearts the same way it would is if you got like two, like let's say 2 hearts and had like a cutscene with them or whatever. So that's really cool. I've literally never seen that done before. Another addition in this update is that if you are married, there will now be an event for your wedding anniversary.
Oh, good.
So every year on your anniversary, you'll be able to get special dialogue from your spouse. And as long as you remember to interact with your spouse and acknowledge that it's your anniversary, you'll get a mastery buff and gift points are doubled. But if you forget, then your spouse will get mad at you.
I would hope that, you know, they're your in-game spouse. You actually, like, take the time out of your day to say something to them. Come on, guys.
Jeez.
Get it together.
So, yeah, I think that's really cool. They're making it, like, really dynamic. Like, the NPCs get mad at you when you forget your anniversary. Mm-hmm. They're walking up and asking you to hang out. Like,
I wonder how rejection works in that way.
Well, actually, I don't know about rejection per se, but they are adding a jealousy mechanic, which is what I was going to talk about next. So, if you are married and you start forgetting their birthday, not interacting with them, because usually in farming sims, like once you're married, you can interact with them and they'll like hug or kiss you and you'll get like a little heart above your head, whatever. But usually it doesn't really do anything that actually affects your gameplay. So like I'm guilty of this. A lot of times once people actually get married in game, they'll just stop interacting with their spouse. So now in Coral Island, there's a reason to keep interacting with them, because if you forget to interact with them, forget to kiss them, forget to gift them on their birthday, or you spend too much time talking to other single dateables in the game, your spouse is gonna get pissed. And they're also adding with it attention-seeking behavior, so it's not just it's not just the jealousy, but it's also like you'll walk into your house and your spouse will be at your table and their dialogue will be like, so, you don't even care about me anymore, huh?
So, you don't love me anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really fun. I just feel like Coral Island adds so much to the farming sim genre that people hope for in other games, or they're like, you know, if you're like me, you're like, oh, that would be cool, but, you know, like, they're not real. So it's never going to be, like, two-sided. There's no way for them to do that. And Coral Island's like, nope, there is. And I just feel like it's really cool, all the stuff that they add. I feel like they pay attention to what people want from farming sims, and they're like, I think we can find a way to incorporate it. And they're always adding like these huge updates. Just since I downloaded it, I've seen like 2 or 3, or that's including this one. But yeah, I just think it's really cool that they seem to care about farming sim players and care a lot about their player base and listen to them. It's awesome.
Well, that's really cool. That is, like, that's a huge update.
We also have the Merfolk Festival. It will run from summer 19 to 21, and it'll have special stalls, and you can get like special items that you can't get from any other events, which is really cool. And then a couple little things, save system update. Usually in farming sims, you have to go to bed for it to save. In Story of Seasons, you can save throughout the day, but you have to be in your house. It's just like a staple of the genre, but Coral Island is making it so that you can actually save whenever you want. So that's cool. And then
huge.
Yeah, and then they are also adding autosave, so whenever you enter the mines, enter a building, enter the dive sites, or teleport, using the fast travel, it will autosave for you. So that's huge. And then they're also doing some multiplayer improvements. I don't really tend to play multiplayer, like on most things, but they do have multiplayer, and if you're into that, they're adding underwater marriage between players. So if you're playing multiplayer, you guys can marry each other underwater. They're also adding player-to-player interaction, so you can hug each other, invite each other to hang out. And also, if you have multiple people playing and you're running out of stamina, usually if you go to bed, it'll skip to the next day. But as long as one person stays awake, people can nap to regain some of their stamina now.
Oh.
Yeah, so pretty cool. They're also adding new color variants for the animals. So I'm seeing like a rainbow cow, a gold cow, a blue cow. Same for the chickens. I also see a pink and green chicken. So it also says they're adding new color variants for the horses, so that's cute. And then with these new color variants for the animals, they also have new milk and egg types that sell for more than regular milk and eggs. And then they added some interactive decor where you can like display fish in an aquarium, bugs in an insectarium, and flowers in a vase. Oh, I love that. Story of Seasons lets you display flowers in a vase, and I love that. So yeah, there's a couple more little bullet points at the end, but we touched on the big stuff, and I just think it's crazy how much they're adding in this update, and I think it's one that people are going to be really excited about. So thanks for listening to all of that, but I was excited to tell you everything because I was like, oh my god, this is a huge list. I can't wait to tell Josh. And then I was like, actually, I'll save it.
I like that you did that because now you get my reaction.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a crazy update.
Yeah, super exciting stuff, and I'm really looking forward to maybe using it as an excuse to jump back in.
I think that's a perfect opportunity. Do they have a date for when it's coming out yet?
No.
No? Okay. TBD.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, I guess we'll actually get into the topic of this episode, which is favorite childhood games. I'm really excited for this one because Josh and I actually have almost the same amount of games to talk about this time, so it'll be a lot more even with the amount of talking that we're doing. I do have a couple more than you, so do you want me to start and then we can switch off?
Yeah, why don't you go first, because I'm ready to get into this.
Oh, yay, okay. So I'll start off simple with Hello Kitty Big City Dreams. This is a Nintendo DS game. You play as Hello Kitty. She moves into an apartment in the big city. She starts out on the bottom floor and you're trying to make your way up to the penthouse by playing all these little mini games with the different Sanrio characters and making money from those to purchase upgrades for your room and then also pay to keep working your way up to the different floors. It's really cute. I really liked it when I was younger, and then I was super excited that I was able to get a copy when you gave me your 3DS to play. And it's just really fun. Everything's really pastel and cutesy. I love Hello Kitty. I love Sanrio. The mini games are fun. I honestly even think it holds up today. Like, I'm obviously an adult now, and I think that just the pacing of it, where you can't just play like one mini game and then level up. And they also have stuff you can buy, like outfits and decor for your house. Or, well, it's not really decor, but it's like different themes for your apartment. And yeah, like I was saying, it's not just like you can play one mini game and afford that stuff. You have to play multiple and kind of save up to make those upgrades and buy those outfits. So I think it still holds up and it's really fun. And I really like playing that one when I'm in either a gaming rut or kind of just had a bad day and want to play something really wholesome and cute. The music for it is really cute too. And it's just fun. I like that one. And it originally came out in 2007. And for a while there, I was playing it on an emulator on my iPad, but it was not the same. I don't love an emulator. I'm grateful when there's no other way for me to play stuff and then I'm able to experience it on an emulator. But if I can play it on like the DS or whatever it was intended for, then I usually prefer that experience. So I'm so glad that GameStop had it. And I think it was like $5 or something. So
excellent. You've shown me some, Hello Kitty, Big City Dreams, and I like it a lot. It's actually, it's really cute. I like that you can decorate your apartment.
Yeah.
And you get that big penthouse. That was sick.
Yeah, it's really cute. I like that all of the characters have a different mini game that coincides with their, like, personality, or kind of like how in, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, they all have their own shops that correspond with their character as well. So yeah, that's my first game.
All right, and the first game on my list is Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts. I love action RPGs, for the most part, but the story in the game, as confusing and convoluted as it has gotten over the years and over the many, many different games, that it is like encompassed into the series. It is just, to me, so much fun. Really, tugs at the heartstrings. Who is this boy? Sora. Why are his feet so big? What is a Keyblade? A huge key, basically. The game came out in 2002. It has sparked multiple sequels, ranging everywhere from like the PlayStation 2, which it originally came out on, to the Game Boy Advance, the DS, subsequent PlayStation systems. Also branching out and being on Steam, being on Xbox, even having a canon mobile game. One cool thing about the canon mobile game is if you did complete it finished the story on it, your name is forever in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's a very, very long list. A lot of people obviously put in the time to finish that, but I just think that's a really cool thing for like the developers to do. The game was, I believe, written and directed by Tetsuya Nomura, who also did a lot of the Final Fantasy games, and I believe that is a big reason why a lot of the Final Fantasy characters are actually in Kingdom Hearts. My boy Cloud is in there.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Like he's named Cloud and looks the same and everything? But
yeah,
like in the
he
art
actually
style?
has an even cooler outfit than
Whoa.
he previously did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Cloud is in it, Sephiroth is in it.
Whoa.
Aerith is in it. Tifa's in it too.
What?
She is looking all over the place for Cloud.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so you keep bumping into her while you're going through these Disney worlds. Hot take, maybe I'm not the biggest Disney fan. And Kay can vouch for me that I tell her all the time that I haven't seen certain Disney movies, but I have played them in Kingdom Hearts, so I have a very loose understanding of what the story is.
Didn't you tell me that about The Little Mermaid?
I've never seen The Little Mermaid.
Ah!
And hey, they're the worst levels in those games. Go ahead.
It's just that Ursula is my favorite villain of all time.
Well, she is, I believe, the boss for the first Atlantis level that you play, and she is like as big as a planet. Not that big. She's huge, though. She's huge. Like, you have to swim around her head. Absolutely massive. I don't know if they got the original voice actress who did the voice for Ursula, but whoever they got for it sounds very similar, if that's the case.
Yeah, they did. I just looked it up.
It's excellent.
For the English dub.
Yeah.
Obviously, but yeah, it's Pat Carroll.
It's awesome. Yeah, so I've heard her sing. I've seen her be giant. I know Ursula.
Oh, you know how much I love the song Poor Unfortunate Souls. Guys, okay, this is some lore about me. I say all the time that I wish that was me. Like, I'm jealous of Pat Carroll. Like, I want to be Ursula. Like, I wish I was a theater kid or something so that I could have, like, played Ursula in some version of my life. Like, I just love Ursula. I love a good villain, and she is that.
You do say that all the time, and you know all the words. You don't even have to look them up. You know all the words to Poor Unfortunate Soul.
Well, yeah, iconic song.
It just brings me back to Atlantis and all the terrible memories I have.
They play that song in Kingdom Hearts? No.
Yeah.
What?
I'm like 90% sure. It's been a while since I played the first game, but I'm like 90% sure, like I said, that they have the music in there, because most of it ends up being like rhythm games, which are fine.
Really?
That part is fine. Yeah, the level is not great because most of the combat, when you go into the worlds in Kingdom Hearts, you are like transformed into something that would resemble the rest of the characters there, so you don't draw suspicion to yourself, even though you're a boy, a dog person, and a duck person. You're Sora, Donald, and Goofy. You're going to all these different worlds, and when you get to Atlantis, can't believe I'm spending all this time talking about Atlantis when I don't even like it. Sora gets turned into a merboy.
Wait. Can you swap between playing Sora, Donald, and Goofy? They're just with you.
They're just with you. There's actually a meme among the community that Donald doesn't heal you because Donald is like the magic user in your party.
Well, Donald Duck is evil.
He's not evil.
He's evil. I've seen Mickey's House of Villains.
Okay, but that's... no. That alternate timeline, that's not what we're talking about. In this one, he's a mage. He's powerful. He's actually canonically one of the most powerful mages in the Final Fantasy universe.
That's super upsetting for some reason. I don't like that at all.
Well, guess what? He casts a huge spell and passes out. Does that make you feel better?
No. I won't say that.
Why are you laughing, honey?
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, Atlantis, and this is all. I'm just gonna say we got Merboy. Goofy is a turtle. I don't know. He turns into a turtle. Goofy's a turtle. Donald, I think he has an octopus bottom. No.
Oh my god, I'm crying! What is this game? I'm learning a lot today.
He's like Donald Top, and you know how he doesn't have pants? It's even worse because he doesn't have 2 legs. He's got 8 legs. And they're octopus styles. They're tentacles.
I got it. Donald Duck. Okay, so sorry. You were talking about transforming into characters similar to the characters in the level that you're going into so that you blend in.
Right. So like Kingdom Hearts 3, the Toy Story world, everybody gets all blocky. They look like they're action figures.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it's stuff like that. Like the Nightmare Before Christmas level, like Sora's got a pumpkin mask hanging off half of his face. Donald is a mummy. I think Donald's a mummy. I don't know what Goofy turns into. I don't remember. But either way, it's fun. It's immersive for the worlds that you're in. And even the different weapons that you get from the different worlds are all styled after the worlds that you are, like, visiting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, this was interesting because I feel like I learned some things about Kingdom Hearts today. And I'm kind of starting to want to play it. Maybe it's just because I've heard you talk about it so many times, but I'm starting to be like, okay, I have to know what's happening here.
I would recommend it. It's like one of my favorite games, like of all time. The entire franchise, I think, is a lot of fun. There is a lot of games to get through to actually like know the entire story. But if you just played like the mainline games, you would still have a good time, and I could fill you in on the rest of it.
Well, that's what iceberg videos are for.
Yeah.
I love a 3-hour iceberg video.
Oh, there's definitely multiple about Kingdom Hearts, without a doubt.
Perfect. I'm there.
Shout out to my boy Riku. Best character of the whole series.
All right, well.
That was fun.
Now that my throat hurts. Okay, so moving on to my second game. I have an obvious one. Animal Crossing Wild World. Now, unpopular opinion, I think Wild World is the best one in the series. Oh, yep, I said it. Okay, no, not New Leaf, Wild World. And I am biased, but aren't we all?
Scorching hot take right off the bat.
Everybody thinks that it's not as fun because there's less to do. Well, there's less to do than in New Leaf. I feel like, okay, I was going to say I feel like there's more to do than there is in New Horizons, but that's not true if you're a decorator, but I play in a life sim way. And there's so much going on in Wild World if you play long enough. There's like UFOs that you can shoot out of the sky. There's like drama between the post office workers. There's so many little cute things that I remember playing. This was my first introduction into the Animal Crossing series, and I played it every day for a whole summer, just checking in morning, afternoon, and night to see what was up in my town. And it's so charming, and then the art style is so nostalgic, and the soundtrack, oh my god, the Animal Crossing Wild World soundtrack is the best one, like hands down, especially the early morning hours. And I just remember how fun it was to play it that whole summer, different times of day. And then since it was summer, like obviously I was young and I had no school. So my sleep schedule was like a mess, and I was just checking in on my Animal Crossing town at like 2 a.m. And the early morning soundtrack, especially the 2 a.m. song, oh my god, they're so good. And it was so fun to go down to the Roost and talk to Brewster. And the first time that I saw KK show up there, because it's not like New Horizons where you have to work to get KK into your town. He just shows up. And just spending the summer with that game and finding everything organically, because I wasn't looking everything up. I didn't have anybody to talk to about the game. Only one of my other friends played it, and she didn't spend as much time on it as I did. So finding all of those little secrets and just uncovering stuff myself, like seeing the UFO in the air and being like, wait, if I have a slingshot and I shoot presents out of the air, does that mean that I could shoot the UFO out of the air? And then I had to wait around for another one to come and then try it out myself. And it was just like a really special experience for me. And this is another one that I have a copy of now. And that's actually the whole reason that you dug out your 3DS for me, because I wanted to try New Leaf and have a way to play Wild World again, because that's another one I was emulating on my iPad and it just wasn't the same. So really grateful to you for letting me use your 3DS all the time, and so grateful that I get the chance to experience Wild World, because it does hold up. And something I like about it is that you don't have really any control over anything except your clothes and your house, and you don't get to decorate anything else. It's not like New Leaf where you have the town projects or whatever they're called to try and decorate the town, and it's not like New Horizons where you have complete control over everything and you can decorate and decide who comes and goes. In Wild World, it's like somebody will move in, you'll become their best friend, and then they'll say they're moving out, and you can be like, no, please don't move out. And sometimes that works, but sometimes they'll just be like, no, I'm sorry, I have to see what's out there for me. So you really do just have to learn to let go and see what progresses in the game, and it's just really, really special. My favorite in the Animal Crossing series, at least so far. And yeah, I would say on this list, it's my number one. It's like really special to me. So yeah, top favorite childhood game, I think.
Is that the one where they can be mean to you?
Yeah, I think in the earlier versions, like the GameCube, actually I think that might be the only earlier version. Yeah, because City Folk was on the Wii. But yeah, in the GameCube version they were mean to you too, if I remember correctly. And New Leaf, I don't really know how they acted. I never got far enough in to really see how they interact with you. But yeah, in Wild World, you'll change your clothes and walk up to them and they'll be like, well, that doesn't look great on you. And they can like make comments about, like, if you have only 100 bells in your pocket or something, they'll be like, oh, that's interesting. Don't you think you should do some work around here to get some more money or something? So
that's crazy.
Yeah, and they have all these little cute events that they don't have in New Horizons. Like, they have this like yard sale day. I don't know if they call it something else. Well, I don't think they do call it yard sale. Maybe it's like flea market day or something, because it's inside their houses. But all at once, everything in all of the villagers' houses will be on sale, and you can go into their houses and like barter with them. It's like all these little events like that. But I don't think that Wild World has holidays, though, which is funny, because it does have all of these different little events that happen, but it doesn't have the like staple events like the fireworks show that New Leaf and New Horizons have. So yeah, it's just interesting. It's like a weird one out of the series, I feel, and yeah, it's just really cute.
Next up on my list, we're gonna dive into Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. When I was a kid, I grew up around the time when like skateboarding was becoming like more and more popular. And one of the things that I think really like emphasized that was the skateboarding video game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, all of them really, but like 1 and 2 I played a lot as a kid. I would sink hours and hours and hours into just trying to get the highest score possible. No cheats, because we don't cheat around here, okay? And I would play with my older sister's boyfriend and compete with him to see who could get a higher score, and spoiler alert, he got his butt whooped by a little kid, like a lot. And I think about back to that now and how many hours I put into that game. I would be so upset if it's like, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at video games. And then I go over to my girlfriend's house and her little brother's like, yeah, I just whooped your butt.
No, that's how I would feel when I wasn't even trying to let my little siblings beat me when we would play Wii games together. And I'd genuinely be like, yeah, I'm gonna beat your butt in this racing game right now. And then they would actually beat me despite the fact I was trying. I'd be like, oh, this is like awakening a rage inside of me.
Yeah, I used to go with my sister to like her boyfriend's friend's house, and he would show me off like I was some sort of like circus act. He's like, hey, watch what this kid can do.
Wait, that's kind of cool though. He thought that you were good at it.
Oh, I was good at it. If I remember correctly, when I was a kid, I think my high score was like, all right, let me set the scene. You're rolling into the warehouse on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 for the first time, and the Dead Kennedys are playing. You feel cool as hell, and then you get an 800,000 score, and everybody's like, oh, wow, that's so much. And then you're just like, yeah. You feel cool. In 4th grade, that makes you feel cool.
Aw, that's awesome.
Yeah, I would still go back and play that. And actually, a while ago now, but he had like dug it out because we keep in touch. He had dug it out, and we were like going like neck to neck, like trying to play again, and actually like got an even higher score than I did when I was a kid, because I was like, oh, hey, what happens if I turn or like rotate a little bit here? More score. Boom.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I love all the Tony Hawk games. I feel like they did so much for like my taste in music and like my sense of style and like all that stuff. I feel like if I looked at how I like dress and like choose to style myself now, and I remember back to like the characters that I thought looked cool in those games, I feel like I kind of like look similarly, which is another thing too. Like that was really foundational for me as a kid.
Very cool.
Thank you.
All right, my next one is Drawn to Life. Have you ever heard of that one?
I've heard the title mentioned, but I don't think I know anything about it.
Okay, so it's an action-adventure platformer for the DS, and it's called Drawn to Life because you get to draw the platforms, and you get to draw your character. I think you get to draw some other stuff too, like your own weapon and stuff like that. And it was really cool because I had... it's a unique concept. I had never played anything like it. Like, Scribblenauts had come out around this time, but that was like you were typing the idea into it and it would come up with the image itself. So it was cool that you got to draw the levels yourself, basically. And this was one, both Drawn to Life and Animal Crossing Wild World came on like this little game card that came with the DS, and I don't know why, but it had like 100 games on it, and I don't know what that was about, if it was like some sort of promotion or why that happened, but it was just one of those nights where I was like, let me, there's nothing else to do on Wild World for now. I have to check back in a couple hours, but I'm wide awake, so it was probably like 11 o'clock or something, and I was waiting to be able to log on to play my favorite early hours of Wild World, and I was like, okay, let me see what this is about. And I started drawing my character, started exploring the story, and I was surprised that, like, the story was kind of deep, I think. So basically, like, the village is dying, there's some sort of everlasting winter happening, and you have to come in there and like recreate through drawing like the stuff in town, the scenery there, and then to progress you have to, like I was saying, draw the platforming levels and make your way through the game. So like I wish I could remember more about the story, but I haven't looked too much into it because I actually do want to replay this one, and I found Drawn to Life and Drawn to Life 2 in like a bundle that you can get at GameStop. But I don't think I ever finished it, but I remembered it being like really unique and really fun and interesting in a way that caught my attention, even though I didn't really play games like that growing up. So yeah, that one was cool.
I feel like I need to look into this more because I have like a very faint memory of that game. So maybe if I look it up more and jog my memory a bit. The next game on my list is Time Splitters 2 specifically. Cannot remember for the life of me if I played Time Splitters 1. However, Time Splitters 2 I would play so often with my childhood friends. There was a lot of very challenging modes to that game, and us being kids, we were trying to like play it on the hardest level and like beat everything. I don't know if we ever did, but I just remember how much fun me and my 3 friends had trying to do that stuff. The game itself, the story mode, is very interesting. You're playing as like a basic sergeant guy. I believe his name is Sergeant Cortez, and the game actually takes place between the early 1900s and like sometime in the future, where I guess they've invented time travel. But I just remember going to like an old Western level, going to Al Capone, mobster, roaring 20s sort of thing. And what was really interesting is you would actually go and see yourself going through a different part of the level, and like you were the person that helped yourself through a later part of the level, but what you were currently playing through, which sounds a little confusing when you put it that way, but so much just like interweaving of your timeline going through these different points in actual time. It's a lot of fun. There was a ton of characters, a bunch of different guns. It is a first-person shooter. I feel like I should mention that. The art style was fun. Looking back, when I looked up some images for this, everybody's so polygonal, which was just like, that was good graphics back then. That was good. You had like 6 sides to your head, and we were like, incredible.
Very cool. My next game is Imagine MasterChef. This one is super cute. Sorry to say, I never played Cooking Mama. I don't think I've ever played a Cooking Mama game, but this is similar. I don't know if the Cooking Mama games have a narrative, but Imagine MasterChef does. You play as this little girl who is taking cooking lessons for a summer, but there's also this underlying narrative where her dad is away for the summer and she's trying to get better at cooking so that when he gets home, she can surprise him with her cooking, I think. And I think those two are connected. It might just be that she's taking cooking lessons and her dad is away for the summer, but I'm pretty sure that the point is that she's trying to surprise him with her cooking when he gets back. And while this is happening, her stuffed bunny comes to life and starts talking to her at the beginning of the summer. So the stuffed bunny is there talking to her about how her life is going and how the cooking lessons are going. And that happens at night, where you got these little cutscenes with the stuffed bunny. And during the day, it is Cooking Mama-esque gameplay. And I personally like the art style of it a little better than Cooking Mama. And it's kind of more up my alley because I like that it has the stuffed bunny. I like that it has that extra cuteness factor. I like that it's more pastel colors. But it was really cute and fun. And this actually is a game that I did reach the end of multiple times. I played through it like quite a few times as a kid because it's just really fun.
Is there any part of the game that stands out to you? Like, that you remember being the most fun part about it?
Well, really the only gameplay is the cooking games. You don't really walk around the house or anything. The game just switches you from the kitchen to the bedroom to talk to the bunny. But something I do remember, like I said, I don't play Cooking Mama games, so I don't know if this is part of them. But at the end of making your dish, you get to pick out the different things that will go in the place setting. And you get to pick, like, if you want, like, pink or yellow or blue plates or whatever, and what design you want on the tablecloth and stuff like that. So you get to make it look really cute. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I always liked that part.
Awesome. For my next game, I have the third-person online shooter, SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs 1 and 2. I played the first one a little bit before I got into the second one when it came out with my friends. And it's another game where I spent hours and hours and hours playing with my friends, like at our respective houses. We would even like do sleepovers where everybody would bring a TV and their PS2 to someone's house, and we would all just be in the same room, like playing matches against like other people and stuff. But we were watching each other's screens to like see what was going on.
How did that work? TVs used to be like huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just like, some of them were smaller, and so you'd be like sitting really close playing on like a tiny screen.
They were still heavy though.
Yeah, they were heavy. But they also like had built-in handles. But yeah, that was a really fun game. Made a lot of friends playing that. Spent hours and hours and hours over many, many years just playing these games and having a great time. It was like Navy SEALs versus quote-unquote the bad guys, and you had to be like tactical. You had to like be able to aim and stuff. There was different weapons. It was a lot of fun. I have a very soft spot for those games.
Very cool. I had heard the name of those games before and never knew what they were. I didn't realize that they were online shooters.
There is a story to like all of the games, kind of like how Call of Duty has a storyline and stuff, but it wasn't that involved. It wasn't like very moving. It was basically just like you carried out Navy SEAL missions and then went on about your life.
Okay, cool. All right, next up on my list is Zoo Tycoon 2. Happy to report that this is one that I downloaded right off the bat when I got my laptop, and I am able to play it again, which I could not be happier about because I love this game. It is, I think everybody knows what Zoo Tycoon is, but obviously a tycoon game. You're managing a zoo. You're making sure that you have the proper facilities and that the enclosures offered and the paths laid down and everything are interesting and convenient enough for the guests that come into the zoo. But I never personally played that mode, I always did the free play mode where you have a bunch of money to start out with and you kind of just make the zoo however you want. And I just liked putting together the enclosures and taking care of the animals because in Zoo Tycoon 2 you can go into the enclosures with a first person POV and clean up after the animals and brush them and put the food in their bowls and stuff like that, put out toys for them to play with. So I always just thought it was really fun. There's like terraforming in there. You can like change the layout of the zoo and add water and hills and all this stuff. And I just always thought it was really fun to just take my time decorating the enclosures exactly the way I like them and deciding what animals to put together. And then there's also just some goofy stuff that happens, like if you forget to put down one section of fencing, your lion can like get out and attack the guests at the zoo and stuff like that. So it's just kind of like silly and crazy to see what unfolds as you play too. So I just loved it. I used to spend hours on this game every chance I got. So I was downright emotional when I got it to run on my laptop too. So really grateful for that.
What's your favorite Zoo Tycoon animal?
The zebras.
Oh wait, I think I knew that.
Yeah, I just had like a thing for zebras when I was younger, and it would always be the first animal that I set up. As soon as I started putting the zoo together, I would always like immediately start putting together the zebra exhibit. But they also have like, well, the specific animals are escaping me right now, but I want to say like hippos and stuff like that, where they live like in and out of the water. And I always thought it was really fun to put those enclosures together because you have to make sure there's like enough water and enough land and enough places for them to hide to keep them like enriched and stuff like that. So I always thought that those animals were like a fun challenge to set up the exhibit for too.
All right, my next game is Final Fantasy VII. It originally came out in 1997. As I mentioned earlier, with Tetsuya Nomura. He was the, I believe, writer and director for this game as well. And it is a traditional RPG, turn-based combat. The storyline, God, as a kid, I could not get enough of this. It even now to this day, I think it's one of my favorite storylines in any kind of media. I love Final Fantasy, specifically Final Fantasy VII. I did all of the stuff as a kid. I beat all the weapons. I got my characters to level 100. Shout out Vincent Valentine. Love Vincent Valentine. So cool. Every character in this game is cool though. Sephiroth, what a cool bad guy. Terrifying. Giant sword. Beautiful silver hair. What a hunk. And now even you have a chance to experience it in the new generation of consoles with the remake project. But seriously, 10 out of 10, everybody who's interested should try playing the original Final Fantasy at some point.
Okay, cool. And we talked about the remake a little bit on the last episode, but yeah, I don't know if I would do the original one, but I'm excited to check out the remake, so.
The original game was on the PlayStation, and when you got the game, it was in a big, thick crystal case, like how CDs used to come in, and there was 3 discs inside.
Oh, yep.
And you would get to the end of one and be like, the screen would be like, all right, insert disc 2.
Yep, I had a couple of those. All right, cool. Well, my next one is, actually, we're moving from the DS and PC to the Wii, so it's a little bit newer, but this one came with 2 games on one disc. It was My Sims and My Sims Racing. And this is another one that I'm able to play today with a re-release. They released the My Sims Cozy Bundle on the Switch. Unfortunately, the racing game is not on there. They swapped it out for My Sims Kingdom. But that's okay because I never got to play My Sims Kingdom, so that'll be cool. I haven't gotten a chance to check that one out yet, but my favorite of the 2 was just plain old My Sims, so I'm really, really grateful that they re-released it in the Cozy Bundle. And I wasn't a big Sims player. Did you like The Sims growing up?
I have never been a Sims fan, actually.
Yeah, I never got into it. I never played it until I like messed around with it a little bit on the PlayStation. And even then, I just felt like there was kind of, realistically there wasn't, but it feels like there's a barrier to entry when everyone else has been playing it for years and they already know everything that's happening and you don't even know how to like scroll through the menus or anything on that game. It just, I wasn't having that much fun. So, I mean, you know, don't come for me for not being a Sims lover, but I did love the My Sims game, and it's really cute. The characters are, like, chibi-fied, and it's kind of like Happy Home Paradise in Animal Crossing, where, like, people show up to the hotel, and say that they wish there was like a facility or a home that matched their interests so that they could move in. And you take these empty plots and you make them those homes. And then as they move in and your town progresses, you get to open up these new areas that get you new resources that help you build even more facilities and homes for the people coming into town. But it's really cute because it had these little features like when you were mining, as you were getting closer to the resource that was hidden, your Wiimote would like start shaking and stuff like that. And I just have really fond memories of playing both these games with my siblings, and I think that kind of made it have an even more special place in my heart for me. We didn't really play like Mario Kart that much or anything, so this was our racing game of choice. And then my brother didn't care about the actual My Sims game as much, but me and my sister really got into it, and we made it like pretty far, but I never finished the game, and I still need to finish it on my Switch and dive into my Sims Kingdom. But yeah, good memories with that one.
All right, for my next game, I have Pokemon, and I'm specifically going to talk about Pokemon Gold and Silver. Shout out to Red and Blue. I had those when they came out as a kid, and I loved that. And I was more excited to play the sequel. I was more excited for the new Pokemon that were coming out. And again, as I've mentioned about this game before on the podcast, I had Silver, the original game, perfect. Literally the perfect Pokemon game. The pacing was good. From what I remember, the pacing was good, and I don't think anything to me felt better than finishing like the Elite Four and then them being like, oh, you can go back to Kanto, which is the original region for the Pokemon Blue and Red games. You do all of that, and then you get to fight the main protagonist from like the original Pokemon games with his like Ash Ketchum, quote unquote, because it's not Ash Ketchum, it's Red. His like lineup of Pokemon, like there's a Pikachu, there's a Snorlax, like you got Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise. Like being a fan of Pokemon as a kid, like collecting the cards, watching the show, and then getting to play this game and feeling like I was like more a part of like the Pokemon universe by like doing that was everything to me. I love Pokemon Silver. And shout out to Lugia. His wings are also hands.
Sometimes I wish I'd gone into the Pokemon games earlier, but that's alright. I do appreciate that my first experience completing a Pokemon game was Explorers of Sky, so it all worked out for the best, but hopefully I can revisit some of those cool older ones at some point.
Yeah, with the re-release, I should say, of Fire Red and Leaf Green, I'm just waiting for them to do Soul Silver and Heart Gold.
Maybe we'll have to keep an eye on that. All right, next up for me, I got Imagine Fashion Designer New York. This one will be quick, I think. I don't have that much to say about it, but it's a good one to mention because it always stuck out to me because you actually had to turn the DS sideways to play it, and it like kept your to-do list and like journal on one side, and then you could see yourself walking and doing stuff on the other side. And it was really cool. You show up to New York and you're trying to be a fashion designer. It's just like it sounds. But I remember the designing mechanic being really fun, and there were cool little things about it. Like your to-do list was on a phone or something, or maybe it was on paper, but I just remember that there was this like MP3 player aspect of it where you could either open your phone or go onto your MP3 player or whatever and play real music that was popular at the time.
Huh.
And you could like listen to those songs, and you could decorate clothes and jewelry. And I don't know, I just miss fashion games. Like there used to be a lot of good fashion games, and I had high hopes for Fashion Dreamer. We all saw how that went. So I don't know, I just think about that game a lot. Like, oh man, I wish there was something like that now, but high hopes, maybe something will come along. But yeah, that is Imagine Fashion Designer.
All right, the last game on my list is Zelda. It just says Zelda, but I would specifically like to shout out A Link to the Past. Played that on my Game Boy Advanced as... Is it Advanced or Advance?
It's Advance.
How long have I been wrong? Zelda, A Link to the Past on the Game Boy Advance, and I was enthralled with that game. I just like Time Splitters, another like time traveling game. I love the like pixel Zelda art style. reminiscent of like the first and second for the like original Nintendo console, and it was like accessible to me all the time, and I would play it whenever I got a chance to. When I wasn't playing Pokemon on my Game Boy, I was playing Zelda.
Very cool. So that was the last one on your list, so I'll just run down the last couple on my list. I have 2 PC games that I used to love. The first one is another fashion game, actually. Kind of. I mean, not really. It's like fashion themed. It is Bratz Rock Angels. That was so fun. It had that like ugly old PC game art style. I say lovingly. Like, I actually really like that style and think it's like super nostalgic, but it was like kind of ugly, kind of cute. It was Bratz. I love Bratz games. And you were like walking around the town, interacting with all of the Bratz characters. And then on the side, you would also have to go work for Berdine and her fashion magazine, and you would have to deal with the Tweevils. And there were a bunch of like really funny cutscenes, and I just remember it being really fun. I can't remember if I ever finished it, but that's another one I would like to see if I can get running on my computer. As you can tell, I really love revisiting these old games. And this one was actually on the GameCube and Game Boy Advance too. So there's a couple options there. I don't know if the gameplay is exactly the same for all of those versions. I'm assuming probably the GameCube would be closest and the Game Boy Advance one would probably be a little different if there were like disparities between them. But hopefully that gives me enough options that I can get like one of the versions up and running on my computer. But that one was really fun. I remember replaying it a lot. Like I said, I don't know if I ever finished it, but I know that I did restart it and play through as much as I could before I got bored. So that one was fun. And then another one that was on the Game Boy Advance and the computer. I played it a bunch on the computer. It was Barbie Diaries High School Mystery. You play as Barbie, you're in a band, and then some sort of mystery unravels. And I don't remember exactly what it is, but there's a bunch of little mini games, and you get to talk to the other people in school with like a kind of Sims-like wheel where when you click on them, like this little wheel pops up and you get to choose like what kind of interaction you want to have with them. And I actually never finished this one. I looked up the How Long to Beat the other day and it says an hour. But I was just too busy walking around the school and interacting with everybody and using it as like a life sim that I never finished this game. So I don't know what the mystery was or how it gets solved, but I tried to get this one up and running and I can't figure it out. I'm so sad. If anyone's good with figuring out how to run a virtual machine or figuring out how to troubleshoot old games on new Windows versions, hit me up because I need help. I desperately need to replay this game. And then the last one I'll mention, I played this one on the Nintendo DS. It's called Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the Professor Layton games. That's the only one I've played. I'm really excited that they came out with a new Professor Layton game for the Switch, so I'll probably check that out at some point. But I actually received the one that I'm talking about as a Christmas gift from one of my aunts one year, and I had never really played like a puzzle-y game like that on the DS up until that point. And later that night, like all the adults were talking and I got bored, so I like went to the other room and started playing it, and I was like, this is so cute and fun because they have a bunch of cutscenes that are like really cinematic and they all have like this hand-drawn art style, and the game was just really cute, and it like at least partially took place on a train, and I don't know why all of these little details from it stand out to me, but I just thought it was charming and I want to play it again and revisit the Professor Layton series, and I want to know what ends up happening because I only ever got like halfway through that story. But yeah, that's everything on my list. Those are my favorite childhood games.
What an excellent list.
I liked yours too. That was fun.
I had a good time.
I'm glad that you had like a more equal amount this time so that it wasn't just me tugging your ear off the whole time. The listeners got to learn a little bit more about your playstyle.
Yeah, I like a lot of like skill-based games, I guess. Like action RPGs and stuff, but I also just love a good story. I love a good story.
All right, any closing thoughts?
No, I will say that going back and like reliving some of my like childhood games and like drudging up some of the good old memories was fantastic, and I would like to go back and play some of these games and see if they like stick, if they're still as good as I think they were. Kingdom Hearts will be because it's perfect, but
yeah, I guess my closing thoughts are that like preserving games is important, And I appreciate everyone out there who has found a way to preserve these games that are important to people. They bring up a lot of memories, and I've never gone back to revisit a game and been like, this isn't as good as I remember. Like, the nostalgia factor will do it for me every time. So, you know, for me personally, it's always an emotional experience to get to go back and experience a game or download a game that I thought was lost to me forever, because these all meant so much to me growing up. So, yeah, I guess those are my closing thoughts. Keep doing what you can to preserve games, take care of your consoles, take care of your games, and yeah, I really like that games can hold so much importance and memory and shape you so much growing up. Like you were talking about with Tony Hawk and everything, like they really do have such a huge impact on you. I think that's special. So I was excited for this episode. You know how I am about my childhood games.
Yes.
You know, I didn't mention Kirby and the Amazing Mirror in here. I figured I had talked about it too much already.
I think everybody knows how much you love Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
Yeah, it was just like, it was a given. Like, you guys didn't need to hear that one on the list, but I like it. I like how much childhood gaming is, like, so special to people. So thank you for doing this episode with me, having this conversation with me.
Of course, this was an excellent conversation.
All right, well, I think that's it for this one. So we'll see you guys for the next episode. It'll be the first episode in our bite-sized series, which is a new series where we talk about a bunch of games that we have a little less to say on in the same genre, and we wrap them up into one nice package for one episode, and I'm really excited for that.
I am also excited for that.
So that'll be the next episode. It'll be a bite-sized episode on building games. All right, well, if that's all, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for listening. As usual, you can find us at Heart Event Podcast on Instagram and Blue Sky. Don't forget to rate and review and follow wherever you're listening. And we'll catch you at the next cutscene. Wait, is it not recording from this? Wait. Okay. Hello? Okay. Hello?
Okay, hello?
Hello? Is this thing on? I'm so sorry for the energy in this episode. City built.
Wicked.